This is 2-3, solving inequalities by multiplying and dividing. You can read through all of this, but in summary, the most important thing is that whenever we multiply or divide by a negative to both sides of the inequality symbol, we need to flip the inequality. So I'll write that out for you. When you multiply or divide by a negative to both sides of the inequality symbol, you must flip the inequality symbol. As you check your work with these, you'll see that it makes sense that you do that. You would catch your mistake if you forget to flip by checking your work. Okay, so first math problem here, example 1a. Again, we solve it just like we would for solving equations. So here's my m, which is being multiplied to 23. To get m by itself, we divide both sides by 23. And m is less than or equal to 3. And we can graph this. I didn't multiply or divide by a negative to both sides, so I didn't have to flip the inequality sign. But this is, since it's equal to, I need a closed circle at 3. And it's less than, same symbol as the end of the number line here. So less than or equal to 3. Okay, and as a solution set, braces m line, m is less than or equal to 3. For all m such that m is less than or equal to 3. Okay, next problem, there's a couple different ways that we could do example 1b. You can always eliminate the fraction first if you like to do that. So you could multiply both sides by 4 first, or you could multiply by the reciprocal of 3/4, which is 4/3. Take care of everything in one step, but whichever works for you. So 3a is greater than or equal to negative 24. Now, even though that's a negative right there, I don't need to flip because I multiplied both sides by a positive 4, not a negative to both sides. Okay, next to isolate a, it's being multiplied by 3 here, so I'm going to divide both sides by 3. And again, I divide both sides by a positive, so I do not need to flip the inequality sign. So a is greater than or equal to negative 8. Close circle at negative 8, and greater than would be to the right, greater than or equal to. So fill this in for all a such that a is greater than or equal to negative 8. Example 3a. I have my y that I'm trying to isolate. It's being multiplied by negative 3, so I'm going to divide both sides by negative. Red flag right there. Divided both sides by a negative. So I need to flip my inequality sign to less than. And negative 45 divided by negative 3 is positive. Two negatives when we're dividing is positive 15. And this makes sense if you pick a number less than 15. So if I pick 0, for instance, and I plug 0 in for that y right there, then I get 0 is greater than negative 45. And that's true. If I didn't flip the inequality sign and I picked a value larger than 15, like 20 for instance, and I plugged 20 in, I would have got negative 60 is greater than negative 45. And that's not true. So you'll be able to find your mistake by checking your work. All right, so y is less than 15. Let's open circle at 15. So right about there. It's a little crooked, sorry. Less than. And draw my line in. And then my set builder notation here. Less than 15. Okay, example 3b. Again, I can eliminate the fraction right away if I want to. And that's either a negative a or a negative 6. Only one of them's negative, either negative a or negative 6. I'm going to treat it as a negative 6, so I'm going to get rid of that right away. I'm going to multiply both sides by a negative 6, since it's being divided by 6 right there. The reason why I needed to do that is because a negative times a negative is a positive a, which is what we wanted. But keep in mind, we just multiplied both sides by a negative, so I have to flip my inequality sign 3 times negative 6 is negative 18. If you didn't multiply by a negative there, you still would have a negative a right here, and that's not an isolated a, so I wouldn't be done yet. I'd have to divide both sides by negative 1 if I kept it there. Okay, so close circle at negative 18. It's less than, so it's going to the left. And my set builder notation here, so a, such that a is less than or equal to negative 18. Example 3, a cookie recipe calls for 3/4 cups of sugar. 3/4 cups of sugar. And the cafeteria cooks have 9 cups of sugar. That's my total. The total amount. How many batches of the cookies can they make? Remember that of means to multiply. So 3/4 cups of sugar. And they can't go over 9 cups of sugar. They have to either be less than or equal to the 9 cups. We could see how many batches of cookies that they can make now. So a couple options. I can multiply by the reciprocal 4/3, or I can eliminate the fraction right away. I can multiply by 4 to both sides first if I want to. And so I get 3x is less than or equal to 36. And then to isolate x now, it's multiplication, so I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to divide both sides by 3, and x is less than or equal to 12. So they can make 12 or less batches of cookies.